Selam ve Chawabashi. That's a hello and how are you from Kurdistan in Kurdish. I'm here in Diyarbakir, which is the capital of northern Kurdistan, which is the eastern region of Turkey. Kurdistan is a complicated place and it's a complicated region, and I'm gonna tell you all about it. So come see the sights, the sounds, and of course the food of Diyarbakir. To start the day off, I'm getting shalgam, which I can only explain as some type of pickle juice. It's very aromatic. It tastes like the juice that they take turnips to pickle them, so that's why it turns red like this. And they mix it with a little bit of like lemon water and some salt. It's a very, very unique flavor. I can't say, it kind of tastes like pickle juice. I can't say I've had anything particularly like it. If you're in Diyarbakir, get some shalgam. To start our tour of Diyarbakir off, we are at Hasan Pasha Hanin, which is essentially a caravan sarai from centuries ago. Caravanserais, as I've said in our Bursa episode, were these places where traders going from east to west or west to east would stop, they would stay the night, they would sometimes trade their wares, they would share language, culture, traditions, all of that good stuff. This is a really amazing structure. I've never seen anything exactly like it, but these you can find all the way up in Romania, you can find them in Iraq, you can find them in Uzbekistan. They're really, really common in this part of the world. And it's amazing that they're still here, that they're still a part of the culture, and people now have turned them into kind of a place where you can buy stuff, you can buy local and traditional things, and people can drink chai and coffee and have an overall nice and beautiful time. Diyarbakir is located basically like less than 100 kilometers away from the Syrian border, and it's also very close to Iraq as well. The entire Kurdistan region is actually quite big. We have northern Kurdistan, which is a lot of eastern Turkey, some of Armenia, and then we have the southern Kurdish region, which you can find in Syria and Iraq. There's a major city called Erbil. Erbil is the southern Kurdish capital. Here we're in Diyarbakir in the northern capital, and we're talking about a distance of probably 500 to 700 kilometers away, if not more, along with 20 million, 30 million people who identify as Kurdish, speak Kurdish, which is a completely different language than Arabic and Turkish, and are their own cultural group, which is really problematic, which I'll tell you about in our next location. As we stand outside of the Grand Mosque of Diyarbakir, I want to explain to you a little bit why the Kurdish people are in such a tough place and it's so tense here in Turkey right now. So this is a highly militarized zone. There are many military vehicles, there are many police. Even getting into the city, I had to stop at a military checkpoint and they had to check my passport and everything in the car. There's a lot of tension between the Turkish government and the Kurdish. They're a huge population here in Turkey. I think there are nearly something like 15 million people. I might be wrong, don't quote me on it, but there's a lot of Kurdish people, and they're they're the second largest minority group after the Turks. The reason this is problematic is because in many ways, historically, the Kurds kind of got left out of the nation building exercise that happened in the early 1900s. As the Ottoman Empire disbanded and we got countries like Iraq and we got countries like Syria and we got countries like Lebanon and Turkey, the Kurds, who are a huge diaspora group, which are actually the biggest nation in the world without a country, they got stuck in eastern Turkey, northern Iraq, northern Syria, southern Armenia, and I believe there's some Kurds in Azerbaijan. I might be wrong. That means that you have a lot of people representing a large group who want to be self-governing, who want to have their own right to do their country their own way without the ability to do so. So there's been a lot of push to establish a Kurdistan, which Iraq doesn't want, which Syria doesn't want, which Turkey definitely doesn't want. In the last 30 years or so, there's been a presence of a group called the PKK, which are for the Kurds, many of them argue a freedom fighting group trying to fight for Kurdish independence. On Turkey's side, they are terrorists and they kill civilians and they blow things up. So it's a really problematic situation here, which is why East Turkey is under the stress that it's in. And with the Syrian refugee crisis, the wars of Iraq and Syria due to ISIS, these have only compounded into more complicated and strange situations for the Kurds. So the Turkish state and the Kurds are not necessarily friends, but they get along to the extent that they just want to be peaceful for the moment. Is it peaceful? Not really. In many parts of the Kurdistan region, especially when you go more east towards Iraq, there's lots of fighting every day on the border here. And it's really hard to say what will happen to this region in the future. Will Kurdistan ever be a country? I kind of doubt it at this point. Will the Turkish ever accept Kurdistan as an autonomous region? Also remains to be seen. The Erdogan regime does not really make a lot of accommodations for the Kurds. So we will see what happens, but history is important to understand this stuff. And, you know, to me as an outsider, they seem very similar, but that's just me. If you guys have watched the news in the last, 5 or 10 years, I'm sure you've heard of ISIS, which is the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. The cities in which they took over were Mosul and Raqqa, were their home bases, and those are not that far from here. So it's very interesting. The Kurdish were actually very instrumental in repelling ISIS through their Peshmerga forces, which were basically the autonomous military of northern Kurdistan. They were a big partner of the United States during the early 2015s up until the 2020s, and actually when Trump pulled out the military out of northern Iraq and Syria, the Peshmerga actually felt very abandoned by the United States, which is also problematic, as they were finally feeling like they might have a good reason, not only a good reason, but a good cause to call for independence from Iraq. But that is still yet to happen, as the Iraqi state is in shambles right now. But actually northern Iraq, in the city of Erbil, the capital of southern Kurdistan, is actually quite safe. You can totally go there without any problem. This city is so interesting. It's like a combination of many places I've been with their own kind of particular style. So a lot of the food, I'm seeing some overlap from, I guess, food that I've seen in Western Turkey and Greece, but then also food that I've seen in Georgia. They have this very particular thing, which I'll take a picture of in a second. And the people here are so welcoming. I think they don't get a lot of tourists here, obviously, considering it's, a pseudo war zone. So everyone was nice. I just got invited into a bakery and they were doing some really nice, beautiful bread. So yeah, it's great. Diyarbakir. Here you guys can see the presence of the military here. You can see, for example, they have lots of these barricades for many of the sites. It's a walled city, so this is really ancient. And then here, of course, we have another police barricade and blockade. Oh, look at this guy. Look at that thing. Oh, look at these cars. It's amazing. How old are these? Look at this guy, station wagon. So this area, guys, is called the Soot. This is the old walls of Diyarbakir when it was a fortress city, hundreds of years ago. Many of these cities in old Mesopotamia were essentially fortified as trading posts. So many people stopped over on their travels from China, from Persia, from different empires. And these are the walls that kept them safe and the walls that kept everyone. So you can see, they go all the way here. A cool part of some cities outside of Europe is that a lot of the country officials don't really care what you do with their monuments. So it sounds terrible, but in some countries you can actually, like climb on stuff. So here I am on top of the wall. It's an absolutely gorgeous view. But I want to tell you for a second why I'm in Diyarbakir and what's the point of coming here. So I think a lot of people skim over a lot of history and a lot of things, and today a lot of people don't have any reference points for the stuff that they talk about. But I also think it just comes from, it just takes a second to go somewhere, to meet people, to see how people actually live. And today everyone's so frustrated, so filled with hate towards each other. And if you just travel to these places that you have so many opinions about, you might actually learn that the people are just like you, that the people are nice, they eat food, they're proud of what they do, they just want to live, go to school, all these things. And it's when I travel to these unique places that this stuff really, really comes deep into my heart, that I feel more connected to everything, and I feel like the story of the world is so much more complicated than we all make it out to be. It doesn't really matter who your president is sometimes. It doesn't really matter what people say about the politics of a country. It really matters what the people think, who the people are, how the people react to strangers, how the people react to people that they don't know, or how they welcome people that they're unsure of their background. All I can say is that everybody I've met here so far has been extremely nice, and on my tour through Eastern Turkey, I've got nothing but smiles, nothing but curiosity, nothing but good vibes. And this is not what we're told in the news, and we're told by the US government to stay out of this area, and we're told by many places to be afraid of people, and we're told by everybody to be afraid of the Kurdish people, and I just don't think that's right. So that's why I'm here in Diyarbakir. I'm here to challenge the way that I think about the world and the way that you guys can possibly think about the world in the future, and hopefully you guys can go explore beautiful and epic places like this with amazing backdrops, amazing history, and see it for yourself. It's really good. I mean, I really say travel really opens your eyes to all of these things in life that some people are just blind to. And if they took a minute to step out of their comfort zone and to just see something new, try something new, meet some new people, maybe everybody would be a lot less angry. That's at least my thought. So here, let's look at the old city walls of Diyarbakir. It's funny, this view you could almost put in Wales. You know, these are very similar to what I saw in Swansea last year. It's really gorgeous, you know, minus the mosques, obviously. But, you know, ancient history, like living, breathing, absolutely beautiful. The scale of these castle walls is just incredible. I mean, I've been walking for like 20 minutes and I'm still in the ring. It's probably like, I don't know, maybe like 3 kilometers in each direction, maybe more. It's really, really big. But they're doing a lot of reconstruction work on it right now. So you can see a lot of the scaffolding, people working on it, but it's everywhere. It just keeps going. Here we can see the pinnacle kind of the castle. It's probably 20 meters high at least. But what's interesting to note is Diyarbakir and this whole province, southeast of Turkey in general, is quite poor. So we can see how old this is, but it's still up. But just across from it, we have kind of pretty low quality housing. I think the average person here made something like $200 to $300 a month. So you can see, I mean, the quality of this building versus the quality of this building actually isn't even necessarily comparable. I don't think this will be up in 600 years. Revani. Okay. Fare Burma. Okay. Okay. Şekerpare. Okay. Tulumba, frying. What is it one more time? Halka. Teşekkürler, bro. It's funny, I was just watching another travel blogger say everything in Turkey is free. I went and recorded in front of this pastry shop and he gave me this and he would not let me pay for it. So this is a sweet pastry. It's fried and then it's covered in a simple syrup. So let's give it a shot. Woo. Oh my God. What is it? Wow. That is so sweet, so delicious. It's like a honey syrup. It's so rich, so sweet. You can probably only eat one of these, but oh my God, so good. Get yourself some Turkish desserts. To end the video, we're in the historic market. So trying to find some grilled meats or other things. It's the biggest cabbage I've ever seen in my entire life. For scale. I just stumbled upon a literal cheese market. That's what they're calling it. So here you guys can see. All the different types of cheeses that they have. They're calling this one Arab cheese. I remember it's very salty. A lot of this is made from sheep's milk. You can see how much they have. This is more of your white cheese or your feta cheese, and then all the different kinds. They have this other cheese that's flavored with some type of herb, probably onions. Beautiful. The olives, so many types of olives. You got yellow ones, green ones, mixed ones, black ones, all of these, beautiful. Olives and 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 olives. Wow. This stuff here is a paste made from peppers. Sometimes it's spicy, it's called tatlı biber, or sometimes it's really nice and they use it in different kinds of sauces. And here's the pul biber, spicy. They add it to things. And sumak, beautiful. Çok güzel. Teşekkürler. Our last stop of the day takes us to a ciğerci ocakbaşı. Ocakbaşı is like a grill, an open grill. They use charcoal. Ciğerci is actually liver. If you've never had liver before, you need to try it. If you've never had liver in Turkey before, you've missed something so amazing. The liver here is so good. It's so tender. It's so non-metallic tasting. It's the best liver that I've ever had. And the ocakbaşı chefs, they take the liver and they use it also with the they interlace it with fat to kind of like make it even more fragrant and aromatic. You're gonna get a piece of bread. You're gonna get some parsley, tomato, onion, and a lemon. Always, always, always. Let's see what it looks like.
Diyarbakır'a gelseniz ciğerci Emrah Usta'nın yanına mutlaka uğrayın.
Best one. Diyarbakir ciğerci.
Emrah Usta.
Emrah Usta.
Ciğerci Remzi boştur.
The ciğerci has arrived. It's ooh, the shish is hot. So, this is what we got. We've got the liver. It is grilled to perfection. It smells like the best steak you've ever had in your life. You've got a little bit of fat. So what you do is you take this beautiful bread. It's nice and pliable. It's a really tasty, really neutral flavored bread. You're gonna just pull it off the shish. That's how the OGs do it. You gotta put a little bit of the accoutrement in here. You got the onions, the parsley, the tomatoes, a little hit of the lemon at the end. Boom. And I already know this is gonna be amazing. It's gotta be. The liver here is so neutral in flavor. You can see you wouldn't even be able to distinguish that it's any type of other meat. It's so unique, so good, salty, spicy, just the best thing ever. I mean, I don't know how you could hate this. Next time you're in Turkey, get some liver. Next time you're in life, get some liver. The offal, the kidneys, the lungs, the liver, all this stuff. It's really good, especially from countries that still eat it. They know how to make this stuff taste really awesome. All right, guys, that was Diyarbakir, the capital of northern Kurdistan, eastern Turkey. We're going back to West Turkey tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming along for these last 4 videos. If you guys made it through this far, so many more videos coming. We're doing some ancient stuff in the western part of the country, then we're going to Macedonia probably. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe the video. Make sure to hit that notification bell, very important these days. And as always, I will see you soon. Keep traveling. Görüşürüz from Turkey. See you next time.